Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and this one is the third and final of the three multiple unit videos that I mentioned in the two previous ones. So this one is one of mine. It is the final one that was on my list of either locos or routes that I particularly wanted to see. We've done all of the locos, so yeah, this is obviously the route. The only part of it that I did actually want to have included is that we're going to be using the Braintree branch. So yeah, I wanted a route with Braintree as the final destination, and that's where this one comes in. Now, because this is the last one on my list, I strongly suspect that the number of videos of this that I am doing is going to be reduced quite significantly, because now it is just going to be whatever requests I get. There's no more of my ones to throw into the mix. So yeah, the route is Shenfield, is where we are departing, and yeah, Braintree is the destination. It's relatively short, and the loco is a class 378. EMU, 4-car. The 378 is actually dual power, but obviously on this line we only need the overhead. And as far as the specifics, it's summer, it's clear, and it's 2:30 PM. Not that that really changes very much. So that is the setup. Let's get this one running. And here we are. So right, there's not a lot that needs setting up in this thing. It is literally a case of getting the lights done, and that is it. So yep, here is our class 378 at Shenfield. Now, yeah, I'm well aware that the class 378s never did this route. They are, well, you can see London overground, and this is a little way off that. I mean, not a huge a huge distance away from the London overground service, but nevertheless it is some way off. We have a 66. It's quite a short 66 freighter train there. Now, Shenfield itself, it's a snobby part of Essex, even though it actually looks like a bit of a shithole, but yeah, it certainly isn't. Okay, so Braintree, our destination, 24.77 miles. We're going to do this as a semi-fast service. So we will stop at Ingatestone, Chelmsford, Whitham, and then Braintree itself. So, yeah, including the final destination, there's only 4 stops. So let's get underway. And as I so often do, get it up into full power ASAP. We're now in a 90 mph zone. 90 is, I'm pretty sure, the max speed for the whole of this line, alone just the section that we are going to be travelling on. So Ingatestone is our first stop, and it is the first station that comes along. In fact, it's here right now, well, in 1.5 miles. Okay, coast for a bit. We will need to be putting the brakes on any second now. Brakes on this thing are properly impressive. In fact, like so many of these sort of commuter emus, it's the sort of train that you wouldn't look at twice. But the performance and driving them is great. Now that was a 360 that just went past. That's the emu that does this route, or did this route around this sort of time regularly. Now that is an emu that, yeah, you really would not give a second look at. And amazingly, it has actually appeared in one of these videos. But of all the electric trains, in fact, of all the trains in this game, the 360 is probably the most boring, bugger all nothing train of the lot. It really doesn't have anything that makes it remotely interesting. So here we are at Ingatestone. Can't really tell you a great deal about it because I don't know anything about this place. Never been here. Never really had the need or the desire to come here. was waiting for the guard signal. So, right. So, first station and first stop. So our next stop will be Chelmsford, which is the next station anyway. Another 66. On this line, yeah, unsurprisingly, the 66 absolutely dominates the whole rail freight industry. Certainly any freight that's going into and out of Southend, it's all 66s. So we do have a speed reduction coming up in 1.5 miles to 60. And that's why Chelmsford Station coming up here. another 66. You certainly don't normally see this many freight runs during the day. So, here we are at Chelmsford. What a wonderful place. Okay, I wasn't entirely genuine with that statement. It always mystifies me that this is the county town of Essex. Colchester and Southend are both far more deserving of being the county town. Anyway, we can now depart from here once we have the guard signal. So next stop is Whitham, and I think we've got a reasonable distance actually before we get there. But at Whitham is where the sort of start of the Braintree branch actually is. So we got something like 9 miles to go. I'm going to have to throttle down a bit. And now we're in the 85 zone. It's very swiftly followed by a 100 mph zone. So what I was saying earlier about the fastest on this route being 90, yeah, that lasted long. So here we are in the 100 mph zone. Must have been on some gradient there because our acceleration rate really did slow. We're now on a 1 in 224, but it's downhill gradient, so yeah, that shouldn't have any shouldn't impede our acceleration at all. This train is certainly capable of getting to 100. I think its max operating speed is 95. But yeah, it can certainly do 100. Honestly can't remember if there are any stations between Chelmsford and Whitham, or if, yeah, Whitham is the next station. We have another train coming along. What have we got here? It's a class 90. Certainly don't see those anymore. So we do have a station coming up, Hatfield Peveril, which we are not stopping at. So this was another of the new towns that were built up within Essex. It's even more recent than Basildon. It's nothing like as big a shithole as Basildon. But like so many of these like new towns, it's just, there's nothing about it that makes it really sort of stand out. Nothing to really attract anybody to move there. So we're now on our 1 in 121 uphill climb, which is why we are actually losing speed. So there we are, that's Hatfield Peveril station. Really sort of out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so we're now entering a downhill section, so we are going to start picking up speed again. But we now have to start losing some of that speed because Whitham is the next station. And we have some hefty speed reductions. First as we enter the station, and then as we, once we leave the station, as we go on to the Braintree branch. So double yellows, which I really think should be flashing. We are coming in a bit slow, but so it's going to put us on platform 4, which is the platform way over to the left. We have another class 90 coming past. So yeah, all trains that stop at platform 4 are the ones that are going down the branch, even though I think it is actually possible to carry on along the main Great Eastern main line from here. You don't have to go down the Braintree branch from here. So yeah, so here we are at Whitham. A big old mill there. We do have our fair share of mills in Essex. One or two of them are even still up and running, if you can believe that. So we're waiting for it. Right. So we have a very slow 10 mph limit while we are on the points taking us to the Braintree branch itself. But from the moment we actually go on to these points that take us to the branch, we are on what I think is one of the most ridiculous pieces of railway in the country. Because the Braintree branch is single line all the way. It is it has no signals of any kind, and it has no passing loops of any kind. So now that we are on this branch, no other train can enter it until we have left again. And Braintree is not some pissant little, you know, like village or something. It's a relatively major town in Essex, but its railway connection is totally unfit for purpose. For a town the size of Braintree, this is nowhere near good enough. And okay, this is not exactly a major sort of thing, but we're now in the 50 mph section, so we can get some speed up. But okay, you take a sporting event, because of course ever since this country won the bid to host the Olympics in 2012, all the government at the time and subsequent ones, but especially at that time, were constantly banging on about, oh, if you're going to sporting events, you've got to use public transport. You know, oh, you can't use your own car, no, because cars are the most evil thing since Adolf Hitler, and you know, public transport is, like, you know, the greatest thing on the face of the earth and all that. Well, Braintree Town, the football club there, are currently in the National League. So they are just one division away from entering the Football League, at which point their crowds would be expected to grow exponentially, you know, like a serious rate. Well, how are the crowds supposed to get there on public transport when this is the railway connection? I mean, it is electrified, I'll give it that, but no signals. Even though there are stations along the way, we are not going to be stopping at any of them. We're going straight on to Braintree itself, but yeah, no signals. So there is no, you know, there's no infrastructure here for the possibility of there being more than one train on this line at any point. No passing loops, so there cannot be more than one train on this entire section. And it's not like it loops around or anything. It's a line that just goes straight out, and then you've got to come the same way back again. So yeah, until this train that we are currently in has left not only Braintree but the entire branch line, and has come off that entrance to it. So effectively, not until we have left Whitham station can any other trains come down here. It's not even remotely adequate. So White Notley is the next station, but yeah, we'll just be going straight through there. So here we are at White Notley station, and like all of the stations in this area, it has just the one platform. Admittedly, it only needs the one platform. It's a fair sized platform actually for such a small branch. The other thing, of course, about this branch is that when you, if you are wanting to go further east on the Great Eastern Main Line, you've got to change at Whitham. The entrance to this branch, that curve that we took, that's the one and only entrance. So you've got to be going London bound when you first, when you are on a train coming off this branch. So you've got to then change at Whitham, and it's a change to stay on the same line effectively. It's ridiculous. Like Cressing station going up. I think including Braintree itself, there's only 4 stations on this branch, and the other station still to come is Braintree Freeport. So here is Cressing station. In fact, it looks like there is a line that's set there, but yeah, it goes nowhere and doesn't join on to this. So yeah, Braintree Freeport is coming up in just over a mile. And then barely half a mile on from Freeport is Braintree itself. Here is Braintree Freeport. I mean, the name does rather suggest that there is a port here, but Braintree, I don't think is anywhere near any rivers or any bodies of water, so yeah, quite where the name came from, I have no idea. So yeah, on a 1 in 70 odd downhill gradient, levelling out slightly now, but it does mean we are, yeah, gaining speed, albeit very slowly, but the speed is increasing. So we are, yeah, now on a 1 in 80. So there we are at Braintree station. So that was Shenfield to Braintree. So you get to see the Braintree branch, and I get the rant about how ridiculously useless it is. And that is the last of my requests. My list is now done. I also think this has been a drive with, yep, no operational errors of any kind. Second consecutive one. I can't believe it. So there we are. Shenfield to Braintree. And even though I say the 378, not the most interesting of trains to look at, but yeah, it's a great one to drive. It really is. So there we are. That is that video done, and we will see you at the next one.